Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we have a story here about an SNP guy. His name's James McCleary. He's been revealed to be a rather nasty, hate-filled troll. He's had Twitter, tweets revealed, and it turns out that he is just utterly, filled with, hate, desperation. He's a sad, probably a self-loathing, small man. But he is there, and he's been given this position in a quango. But nobody'd be surprised. I mean, I'm sure that the vast percentage of my wonderful, handsome, beautiful, intelligent viewers out there in YouTube land totally understand completely what these people are like. And so we will take a look at this. But before we do, I will point out that because this channel is political, it doesn't get the spread according to the algorithm. YouTube doesn't like pushing political channels, and so we absolutely rely on people hitting the subscribe button because it absolutely helps. Because the algorithm kind of hides the political ones. So if you're one of the 65% of my regular viewers, and you'll know who you are, who regularly watch the channel, just hit the subscribe button, build the channel up, strengthen the channel. It helps us get the word out, and it absolutely benefits the channel way more than you would possibly believe because of the numbers and the way that the algorithm works. And also like the video, that also helps. So do please hit the subscribe button, help the channel grow, be part of it, and let's get the truth out there. Anyway, we'll go in now, have a look at this guy. His name's James McCleary, and he is a complete and utter nasty bag of shit. Here goes. So, Nasty Nat quit role with Scottish Government Quango after his abusive tweets were unearthed. He's gone, you see, but they had to catch him. He would have been there yet. So, James McCleary was handed a role as a global Scot, whatever that means, to help promote Scotland abroad to businesses, but has now quit after being unmasked as a hateful Twitter troll. This is the man that the SNP thought would represent Scotland in the best possible light, and he's filled with hate and loathing. And you can just guarantee he absolutely hates the English. Anyway, just make sure you get a good look at him so you know what a hateful little turd is. A nasty Nat who used his social media account to abuse unionist politicians quit his prominent role with the Scottish Government Quango after his attacks were unearthed. So he was quite happy to do it, when nobody found out, and he didn't think that quitting was fine until he was found out, and then it's, I must go. And you guarantee he wasn't in a position where he was resigning. He was told quit or be fired, and they gave him the choice, and he realised quitting would be better than being fired. That's the only reason this guy would have gone. James McCleary was appointed to the Global Scots Network despite his ex-account being littered with abusive tweets towards opponents of Scottish independence. Well, we need to find out what his account is, and let's litter his account with nice tweets congratulating him in the nicest possible way. Mr. McCleary is understood to work as a Chief Information Security Officer for a financial risk advisory firm with offices around the world. We need to find out what his firm is and then complain to them to say his blatant politicking and his obvious bigotry does not lend itself to the image of that company. He's based in Thailand, and we wonder why he's gone to Thailand. We all know what happens in Thailand, don't we? Gary Glitter spent a lot of time in Thailand. And he previously boasted on his social media that he was a member of the prestigious taxpayer-funded group, which is meant to promote Scotland abroad. Yes, I'm sure. But his position came under a threat when he was unmasked as a Twitter troll who launched attacks on prominent unionist politicians for daring to question the SNP and the Scottish Government. Oh yes, because how dare you question anything we do? How dare you? Because we're trying to run a single party monolithic dictatorship, and we will broach no opposition and no complaints. That's the kind of guy he is. He called for someone to go find a bridge because they criticised Nicola Sturgeon, and also branded top MPs traitors and quislings, which is a reference to the collaborators with the bad guys of the Second World War. Actually, in that case, Quisling actually should have a capital Q because it's named after Weimar Quisling, I think his name was. These posts came from his account at James McCleary, which was locked and later deleted when the initial story about him was published by the Daily Record on July the 27th. Other offensive tweets saw him advertising an app which called for the boycott of Scottish companies that don't back independence, and calling for Marks and Spencer's to go bust because they had products with the Union flag. Ah, bless. What an absolute hate-filled bag of pus. When these were reported to the Scottish Government and its Quango, and in fact you could take it as racism. It's quite blatant racism, and under the Scottish Government's own rules, that man needs to be fired and indeed questioned, arrested and jailed. Anyway, it was reported to the Scottish Government and its Quango, the Scottish Enterprise. Both organisations confirmed they would look into them. And now the Scottish Daily Express can reveal that Mr McCleary immediately quit his role as soon as he was questioned about it. Yeah, because he's been caught blind, showing his racism and internal hatred of all things British. And it changed the word British for Pakistani, Indian, Jewish. Doesn't sound much better, does it? Anyway, spokesman from Scottish Enterprise said Mr McCleary resigned from his position as a global Scot with immediate effect following a discussion about his tweets. It means he will no longer be representing Scottish businesses abroad and will no longer be an ambassador for the country. He was never an ambassador for the country. He couldn't be because Scotland does not have ambassadors. Anyway, and there's just some tweets out. I'm not going to get into them because they'll be mentioned down here below. The Global Scot Network was set up by the Scottish Government to be an organisation to help support Scottish businesses abroad and help them connect with opportunities, much in the same way as the British Embassy does. Various expat, but cheaper. The British Embassy does it cheaper. Various expats are involved in the project, along with tycoons and entrepreneurs closer to home. Let me just tell you who it is. Boasts 1,000 members across 60 countries who work on a voluntary basis and are vetted beforehand. They did a shit job at vetting this one, didn't they? It is unknown how Mr McCleary managed to secure a role, despite his active and obvious social media presence. Last year, he wrote that Conservative MP David Mundell was a slimy, bearded ratbag and is the most awful example of the state apparatchik there's ever been. A quisling. Ah, bless him. Bless his little cotton socks. What a sad man. What a sad man that he thinks this is the only important thing in his life. Probably is. Probably not married. Probably no kids. Hate-filled bags like that tend not to have them. Sounds a bit psychopathic too, don't you think? And then in 2022, a tweet about former Labour leader PM Gordon Brown, McCleary said, "Has there ever been such a rotten traitor to the country? Yes, you." And in 2015, he called former Treasury Chief Secretary Danny Alexander a quisling muppet. Well, at least he put the capital Q on it this time. You can take the word quisling off, but certainly I think with Danny Alexander, the word muppet does apply. I'll give him that. After the ex-Lib Dem MP accepted a knighthood. Anyway, in further vile tweets, he called Westminster an English servile house of traitors. There's an awful lot of Scots in there. And his account was followed by several politicians, including Wellbeing Economy Secretary Neil Gray and former SNP Treasurer Colin Beattie. So Neil Gray and Colin Beattie were both following this guy, so they obviously liked and agreed with what he was saying. And it goes to show the amount of absolute hate and bile and pus running through the veins and arteries of the body that is the SNP. And then they tried to contact him, but their calls went unanswered because he is a cowardly, spineless prick. And I've said enough about this turd, and I will come up and leave him to wallow in his own filth. You see, that kind of attitude is exactly the sort of attitude that led to 6 million Jews dying in camps during the Second World War, before, during the 30s and 40s. It is exactly that. It is that othering of people, and then that showing of absolute contempt and dehumanisation of them. That is what this man is, and that is why he's followed by people in the SNP. You can see the playbook carrying on from 1930s to 2023. It's the same type of people. They are absolutely disgusting, hate-filled people, determined to cause division, not bring people together. Their racism is apparent, their hatred is apparent, and they are no different from the guys that lost the Second World War, and they need to be treated exactly the same. And the SNP symbol is basically a modern version of a Schwarzsticker. God, we can't say the word properly. YouTube doesn't like it. But it is no different. And they are no different. Anyway, I shall stop there. It's Riven, it's Riven, top to bottom. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this one has been an illuminating video for you, to show exactly the mindset, not just of that one man, but of the whole party. The fact that the likes of Neil Gray are following him goes to show that they're all pretty much like that, aren't they? Anyway, until next time, stay safe, stay well, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Bye.